Oh no, I think there are many cases of filmmakers who anticipate Wells in this. One obvious one would be Jean Renoir, who was one of Wells's own favorite filmmakers, because every Renoir film is in a way almost like a documentary about the actors in a certain way. And not only the actors, but the experience. They're almost like becomes a documentary about the experience of making a film, which is a quality you find much later in Robert Altman's films, for example. It's very obvious that you have this crossover in a film like Greed by Erich von Stroheim, who was someone else that Wells revered and was good friends with Stroheim, actually. Because you had not just filming on real locations, but having the actors go through in real life what they were going through, with their characters, and an attempt to break down that kind of, like that barrier, and even the idea of authenticity for Stroheim, when it was very important that everybody wear the proper clothes and that the sets were exactly accurate and all of this. It seems to me that the whole idea of authenticity had something to do with, documentary authenticity. Those are two examples. I'm sure one can come up with others. Nowadays it seems to me that it's hard to think of major filmmakers who don't have some aspect of this dialectic. I find it in Bellatar, I find it in Jia Zhangxie in China. It's certainly there in Kiarostami. In fact, Kiarostami's, I co-wrote a book with an Iranian friend on Kiarostami, and I opened that book with the same quotation from Orson Welles that I use today about using the audience's imagination and all of that, and it being theater being a social act when you do that. So I think certainly, and Iranian cinema in general mixes documentary and fiction in all kinds of interesting ways. One interesting paradox in Iranian cinema, which I think highlights some of these paradoxes, is that it's illegal to show women outdoors without their, scarf and hijab. But of course, if you see in a movie a woman at home, she wouldn't be wearing her hijab. But in a film, she would have to be wearing it. And this is why most Iranian films take place out of doors, to avoid that contradiction, because it would be unrealistic to have a woman wearing it at home, but also illegal. So it becomes a real problem. And so therefore, it seems to me that this automatically means that you start getting involved in fiction, even if you're doing a documentary, obviously. But I think anybody who's made documentary knows that they're fictional devices. Even when simple things, when I've been interviewed in interviews for, and they ask me to repeat what I just said, but more slowly, and so on. Obviously, that already becomes fictional.